I think different politicians have inherited Raila Odinga's different ways of doing politics. So, for example, Gachagua has inherited how to keep government on its toes, how to capture the narrative so that you are the one driving the narrative as a leader of the opposition. So you essentially deny the government the opportunity to be the agenda setter. That way, the government always looks confused and always looks as if it is the one that is following your agenda. Sifuna Edwin worked with Raila for many years as the Secretary General of ODM, has inherited Agwambo's mass mobilization strategy. Okay, so Sifuna is engaging in this mass mobilization. And by the way, this strategy of mass mobilization was not even started by Agwambo. This was actually his father's most important tool. And that is why his father was feared in the 1960s. Part of the reason his father was really feared in the 1960s because he had an unparalleled capacity to mobilize the masses. And both the local comprador bourgeoisie interests and international capitalist interests feared the influence of the Oginga Odinga, and that is why they labeled him a communist. Odinga was a socialist, and he would have been able to mobilize the masses because he stood with the masses. He said, it's not yet Uhuru unless we have redistributed land for the people who lost their land to colonists. That is why Oginga Odinga was really feared by both the international capital through the British and also the local bourgeoisie class, then led by Jomo Kenyatta and his coterie of Kikuyu elites. So tell me if you know any other politician who has acquired or who has inherited any other strategy or tactic that was used by Raila Amolo Odinga. For example, what do you think Kalonzo Musyoka inherited from Raila Odinga? Because Kalonzo ran as Raila's running mate for 3 elections. What do you think Matiang'i inherited from Raila Odinga, even though they never worked together? Is there anything that Matiang'i inherited from Raila Odinga? What about Martha Karua? They were together in the last election. Martha Karua was Raila Odinga's running mate. Does she show that there is something she learned from Odinga which she's using at the moment? What about all the other politicians? What about Ruto? What about Uhuru? They worked together, Uhuru through the 2018 handshake and Ruto through the 2024 handshake. So the question is there something you think they inherited or copied from Raila Odinga's brand of politics that now they are using? But I should also tell you this. If Gachagua and Edwin Sifuna find themselves in one coalition, what it will mean is that they will bring together Raila Odinga's 2 primary strategies, or you can call it tactics if you will. One is the strategy of mass mobilization, and the second, obviously, is the strategy of how to be the one forming the agenda, to be the one who is holding the government to account, to be the one who is basically showing the way so that the government constantly looks as if it is following you. So if these two leaders found themselves in the same coalition, then they will bring together these tactics and these strategies. Now, it doesn't mean that Ruto does not have his own strategies of countering all that. As we've seen in the last couple of days, when it was revealed that President Ruto was planning to launch the 2060 strategy, Gachagua very quickly came up with a counter, a way of countering, so that he ended up taking all the media across the board. And I think government then had to move in quickly and make sure that there's a live streaming of these conversations that are going on around the 2060 strategy. So that is how Gachagua is now managing to keep himself relevant in the political scene. At the same time, Edwin Sifuna is managing to keep himself relevant through mass mobilization, through mass rallies. And that is something that he learned from Agwambo Raila Odinga Tibim.